Good morning, everyone. It's 10:44 on the clock, and I wanted to start now before 11:11. We'll see where we are when it becomes 11:11. I want to start out this with a meditation of just instead of our usual 3 deep breaths, we're going to take 11 deep breaths and just organically see what comes up. You might want to meditate on peace, love, joy, and the bowl I'm using is be, so let's just be. Let's go ahead and take our 11 deep breaths. Another deep breath. Third deep breath. Fourth deep breath. Fifth deep breath. Sixth deep breath. Seventh deep breath. Eighth deep breath. Ninth deep breath. Tenth deep breath. And with the 11th deep breath, as well as peace, joy, and love, that you are one with your beloved. The 11th deep breath. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let it all out. Sending lots of love and blessings out to everybody today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all being here with me for my videos. For those of you especially who started with me in 2017, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Just take a minute to feel how you feel. The peace, the love, and the joy. Okay. I was guided to gargle with salt water this morning. And not just because that's good for when you're feeling like you're getting sick or for a cold, but just to clear the throat chakra, to purify, just like you would take a salt bath, to gargle with salt water. I'm going to roll the die. I'm going to show you the pictures for my message of the day, the union read and the twin flame read. Before we start the reads, I want to pull from the Metatron deck. And also before we do that, let's just first start with the stretch that came up in the yoga deck for me, which is putting your hands on your shoulder tops with your elbows sticking out. And I want you to rotate your elbows forward and then back, to especially backward, because you really feel your wings clicking and how stuck they are. So let's go ahead, put your hands on the top of your shoulders so your elbows are sticking out like wings. And we're just slowly rotate your elbows back and, like 11 times, and then forward 11 times, and feel the stuckness that needs to be released in your wings. The angelic wings of 1111. The wings. And just keep doing that as much as you want. Let's roll the die and see what's coming up for the twins today on 1111. Excuse me. I have the South Node, which is Sagittarius, releasing. I'm going to turn on the lights so you can see. There's the South Node. We also have Leo here coming up, being your inner child. How perfect today. Being your inner child. And you notice how similar the North and South Nodes are to the Leo energy. Okay. So being the inner child that loves attention, but also loves to be charitable and giving and play and be very childlike. Wanting to share the self with all. It's like the one for all and all for one. Leo is the self sharing with all, and then the opposite is the Aquarius type energy, right? Sharing the all with the one. And 11, look at that. Number 11 is the number that came up for us today. How perfect. 11 is also justice and alignment. Justice, I was just getting justice, which is bringing up Jesus here. The 11 is justice of truth and balance, which is that 0 point of your truth, of coming back to your heart every time in the now moment. And balance. When you're out of balance, when you're polarized, to see the opposite end of the polarization in order to merge yourself back to the middle. Okay, so that's the message today with Leo, the South Node in Sagittarius, and 11 of Justice, which is also Libra energy. So we have 2 fire signs and an air sign to help whip up that fire a little bit. It's interesting because it's like we're feeling into Leo, the leader, and letting go of Sagittarius and the things we overindulge in. Okay, because Jupiter's all about expansion. So what do we expand too much in? What do we put our foot on the accelerator for? And have a hard time putting on the brake. So let's focus on that. And just alignment. The 11 today is reminding me of that card from the Journey of Love, where the 2 masculine and feminine are lying side by side, but with space between them. The one where I always tell you there's nowhere you need to go. You just need to keep going as that lane merges into one, and the 2 become 2 as one, as opposed to 2 separate parts in their own separate lanes. And that's the energy of the 11 here. Okay, so I'm going to show you the pictures of the reads, and then we're going to pull from Metatron. This is the union read today. This is 3D, 4D, 5D. 3D, 4D, 5D. The feminine on the left, masculine on the right, to make it easy here, and the bridge between them in the center. Underlying energies over here, and the closing energies over here. I pulled an extra card and pulled the underlying card too. The Sovereign, and then the 4 of Swords, which for me is the connection in the 5D of the twins. And the closing energy is the Hierophant, but in this deck it's the Guidance card, along with the Shadow. Yep, the Shadow, which is the shadow work with your guides. All right, the 3D, this is the incoming divine feminine, outgoing divine masculine. Okay. And the center of it is the Emperor today, or Reason, but I was getting him as the energy of Santa Claus, which is actually quite beautiful. So we'll see what comes up within that read and the other reads as well. This is the read you see in front of you on the table. We see that the Lover's card has popped up in the read again. It did yesterday in the center. Okay. For me, this is that 7 of Pentacles or crystals here in this deck, the Syrian Starseed deck, which for me is the Divine Feminine's heart in the E tower, which is like the Rapunzel tower here with the masculine working outside on how to get into her heart. And we also here the Hermit in the Mary Magdalene cave above the crowd or the group down below, right, in isolation and exile. And there's the energy of coming out of that cave today. Right, there are 2 different ways of isolating ourselves. And then the Ace of Pentacles in the middle, which is the diamond in the rough. And then the Sun is at the end, but the final cards, we have the Sun, the Hermit, the 6 of Cups, the 6 of Cups, and then the Sovereign, the 9 of Pentacles, and then the 4 of Swords, and then the Ace of Cups. But a few, if not all of those are reversed, but that doesn't matter. It's just that those actual really positive cards for the twins came up at the end there. And the Sun card is upright here, right? That is energizing and exposing all in order to clear the slate, so to speak. Okay, so let's pull out Metatron and see what Metatron has to say to us today. Okay, and what is our message from Metatron this 11/11? Okay, I have a card, but then I have a bunch that came out together. Let me show you there's 2 cards that came together, and then I think there's 4 cards, which is 6 of love altogether. And the 2 and the 4 is the 24, and the 42 is the 2 of Cups. So it's the Queen of Wands and the 2 of Cups energy, which is interesting because that's my mother and father. Their soul numbers were 42 and 24. My outer personality number is 42, which is a very mothering energy because it's 6. But it's also that 42 of the 2 of Cups. So the 2 that came out together is the Chakra card, 38, which is the Queen of Cups, which is my soul number. So they're doing that on purpose, to show you the connections here. And as the representation of the Divine Feminine, the chakra and the light body. And I did Sam the Illusionist's meditation when I first woke up this morning, which was wonderful. So you might want to do that. He did that for 11/11, Sam the Illusionist. And then here's the electromagnetic grid and the karma untying the knots in the grid, the 28 of the twin flames, right? You're the grid holders, untying the knots between the electro and the magnetic fields of karma and ending karma around the world as we're getting the energy of the timelines collapse from the messages from my video yesterday of Father Time breaking the clock. And that's very much the energy of that Santa Claus energy in the middle of the Union read today. Okay, so we have there the 38 of the Queen of Cups and the Twin Flames, which is very much the feminine energy. And then we have the bottom of the deck here, which is endings, right? The end of karma, the end of the pier. You are held in those endings. And that's that 45 of the 5 of Cups, that purging energy of letting go of the past. You don't need it anymore. It's part of you. You're not letting go of it because it is who you are today. But you don't need the past version. Remember your passion and love for life. The 25 is the Knight of Wands, perhaps becoming inspired to move and get going as far as physical, passionate bodies. And allow the endings. You are held. Allow that purge if you need to purge as well. The other section of cards that came out, which is 4, is the 52 of the Queen of Swords and priorities, the building blocks for life, which is your chakra system again, right? The rainbow bridge here. And your wings, which is funny because I just brought that up to release your wings. The indigo energy of the third eye, the mystery and mastery of life of the 21 in completion, that you are complete and whole. The Queen of Swords, you are not the war widow. You are of the light. You are of the light. And you are in your third eye whole. In the flower of life and creation, the abundance that you are, the Empress of Gaia, and you are the whole, right? This is you in your third eye connecting to the collective consciousness, to the all, the abundance, and then the Kundalini of the 35 and the wounded warrior, as there's untapped energy that we were just releasing in your wings to leave the wounded warrior journey and go into the fool's journey with an open heart and a leap of faith, always being in that faith. Two cards kind of wanted to come up after the fact to remind you to connect and go inward to your inner child. It's 11 o'clock on the dot. A lot of source energy backing up the 11. Take time to meditate and ask your inner child what it wants to tell you today. Hear and know me. 36 is the Atlas energy of the weight of the world. The weight of the world is coming up because of the relationship of you and your inner child. Who are you? Authentic self. Who are you? 46 is that 6 of cups of the two children hugging each other. This is you hugging your own inner child. Hear and know me. You can also see, if you feel like you're a twin flame, to go in to see your divine feminine and your divine masculine. And that applies not only for twins, but for both. But if you really want the message from the masculine and the feminine side of yourself, go within and speak to your inner little girl and your inner little boy. Okay, so that's from Metatron today. I might actually pick another card from Metatron right at 11:11. Let's see where we are at that time. Let's see, either way. Okay. Leo is a fixed sign, Sagittarius is mutable, and Libra is cardinal. So we have a nice balance of energies there for the signs that came up. It is 2 fire and air, which can really stir up a big fire. I don't know if there's any forest fires going on right now. It's 11:01. This first message of the day was at 12:46 last night, and it started with the underlying energy of the frog, the snake, the 5 of wands, and unexpected income, which also can be unexpected incoming people or visitors. The frog is longing to be the prince, the vehicle of infiltration, which has been coming up a lot this week and last week, as the snake is taking a bite, causing a fight over unexpected income or inspiring visitor. The eagle came in to light a fire like under your butt, and there's that air energy lighting a fire under the fire that's already there. Under the newbie, the worm, to open them up big in a breaking through of the seal of the colors of love and sexuality. Again, your chakra system and the Kundalini rising. Caught in a web of lies and the bat lost in space, fleeting inspiration, but then the frog is back again to love reign on me in that sad emotion of not becoming the prince that he is. 2 as 1, the Queen of Wands, an innocent romantic pup, and the King of Wands, annoying pest. So coming up as wrapped up in his own little world, unaware that he's been infiltrated. Present to the Viking ship sailing and back to the pursuit of happiness. And then the train back to Harlem was coming up here as the Queen of Wands thief, so he said, with unexpected income or inspired by a visitor. And that was interesting because that's really in alignment with the movie I watched last night, which was called Passing. And it was a movie about not current times, but I'm not sure what the actual year was. But back in the time where Harlem was actually a nice place, it was clean, or in this area that they lived anyway. She was married to a doctor, but about her friend who had passed herself off as a white person, married to a white man who didn't like blacks. It was a very interesting movie if you're interested in watching that. So that could bring some wounds up for you to clear. At 11:03, which has to do with socializing, and just to 4, the Empress and the Emperor. What are you willing to do to sacrifice your authentic self? The first section here is the buffalo, the golden egg, which is the heart chakra, and the swans, 2 as 1, well grounded and heavenly. The golden egg, a prize, 2 swans in love. Home, stable, and hermiting with gifts, and justice of rod and staff, perhaps, cracking the whip with them, or clearing. The buffalo may be a sister or with their sister, or suffering in silence as a privileged lady. The deception to the community as the Knight of Cups, right? The very loving person, just being love, as opposed to a person of status. The white swans impatient or with patience, losing money or dysfunctional perspective on money and or family loss. The King of Cups thinking about leaving, or there may be a child here who is, at 127, the Magician and the Ace of Wands, that new passion, or the flame. The second section here is the fox and the gazelle. The fox is coming up as the loving man, losing patience to have a change of scenery. And the gazelle, who's very graceful, may be confused about coming together with one inspired by great fortune as opposed to great love. The third section is the black egg and the moth. So now we're in the throat chakra, from the heart. The heart's now in the throat, and the moth to the flame. The throat chakra and the family tree, and the fool who's free to leap on the journey of despair, or the pair. The moth to the flame, 1-to-1, with direction to dear one. The King of Wands at the big house with many decisions to make, right? So that could be literally the rich person at a big house, or the person who got caught and is living in the big house, perhaps in jail. And that can be a jail of their own making as well. The fourth section here, and it was just coming up that 3 and 4 are very significant here, of the Empress and the Emperor, but also the energetic exchange between them, which is 34, the 8 of Wands. Dear one, the owl and the otter at 1106. The sweet, the wise, and the innocent. The good, the bad, and the ugly, as I was just getting as well. The sweet, the wise, and the innocent. The good, the bad, and the ugly. The dear one with wise community of birds. The hermit and the letter of infiltration. The owl is the Knight of Cups here, taking a chance to recover or get back in with the official person on the fool's journey, with an open heart, taking a leap of faith. The otter is on the journey of the subconscious, and the past returning with the main female, a letter from an official to her, wanting to get back to where we started from. So that was coming up, in her good graces. The fourth section here at 1107 is the wolf and the lion. The wolf surprised or numb from one who showed up on a magic journey, standing up to the light, or to light the old flame of Atlas and the weight of the world and distant horizon that perhaps didn't float their boat, or doesn't float their boat, or won't if they go towards it. The lion is the power man without peace, as a wealthy man in transition. So here's that Leo energy of the lion, along with the wolf, who looks a little bit stunned, like the wolf pack leader who doesn't have a pack anymore, and the lion who has their back turned toward the wolf. The fifth section here at 1107 still is the songbird and the nightingale, the horse and the cheetah, talking to the lion, the nightingale, in front of the horse and the cheetah. The songbirds clearing the air, perhaps making cuts and rising above the main male at 1108. Mr. Ed is lucky, with heaven in his eyes, about his stable courtship here. The cheetah with wise counsel, and a sunny older woman with a loving disposition here. What God brings together, let no man put asunder. That was the fifth section. Now going into the sixth section, which is still 1108, the whale and the bear, exhausted and grounding, cutting ties with the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups, from different peer groups perhaps, status and working class. The bear sailing right through with abundant divorce or alternative lifestyle, conflicted by bad health perhaps, or a man expecting breakfast in bed. The seventh section is the beaver, zebra, starfish, and oyster at 1109, which is the reverse of 9/11, undoing the emergency. Busy with dam, right? The beaver who's busy with the dam, and the polarized shadow with the Queen of Pentacles, judication, union, or home, as the phone is ringing. The zebra with their third eye open and key to freedom, in dumping it all, or lady with expectations, or dumping it all on the lady with expectations. The starfish is self-love and well wishes, calls and music on the wounded warrior's path. The oyster is clammed up but mature and peaceful, coming clean about the dance or deception of the masks that they're wearing at 149, which is the Magician and the Get Your Wish card. Like, what are you willing to do to get your wish? Are you willing to sacrifice your authenticity or abuse others at 151? One is the Magician, 51 is the King of Swords, letting go to fix with the High Priestess and the Wounded Warrior, the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Swords with the Light. The Devil is on fire at 1110 and found a way out from the world upside down, coming clean about the Page of Cups reversed and the Page of Swords reversed and the Page of Wands upright, or the children, or their kids and their inspirations and your inspirations. The empty room or house for the mature man with concerns of imprisonment at present. And then number 8. The hawk, the lamb, the octopus, and the mouse, clearing the way for the innocent target, and the octopus who's all hands, with the nervous mouse, very much the abuser around the innocent child, with a mountain to climb and a commitment to a doctor, or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in exposing powers, perhaps the positive and negative of you within, and the critters at work. The hawk in disconnect or distance from occupation of energetic exchange, or occupied with energetic exchange as the clock turns to 11:11. Remember that energetic exchange, EE. The lamb committed to implementing a plan with sudden thoughts of a woman. The octopus healing a little girl or a newborn in the hospital. The mouse nervous about the powers that be, with the Empress reversed, perhaps ill or injured or in lack, or this could be a mean person, right? With the message of concern, or mother after birth with a message of concern. So you might want to send love to the children that you know who might be struggling, whether they're being abused or they're in the hospital struggling, right? Maybe there's some preemies in the hospital you might want to send your love to. We have the Ace of Pentacles upright, the Nine of Cups upright, and the Wheel of Fortune upright at the end, which is a really beautiful turn for the better. That's an offer of a new life at 11:11, of perfect contentment, getting your wish, destined with the Wheel of Fortune upright, an offer of a new life of satisfaction and destiny. Cheers at 158 as we go on to the 12, which is completion. 1 is the Magician, 58 is the Four of Swords. Beautiful message there. So I do want to pull one more card from Metatron to see what wants to come up now for the 11:11 energies. Well, that was very clear. Pink, self-love and nurture. Make sure you have compassion for yourself. And there's that fan, like the blue jay fanned in the picture that I put up the other day. The 26 of the Page of Wands, which is inspiration, but it's also the child, right? Self-love and nurture. Teach your children how to love themselves first and be inspired to be creative. The leadership, answer the call. This is also almost identical to, in the Syrian Starseed deck card, the 10 of Wands, which is the Atlas energy, the way to the world, going up these steps toward the light, to the light at the end of the tunnel or at the top of the stairs, leaving the wounded warrior behind. Leadership, answer the call with the 8, the manifestation not just of survival, like the wounded warrior, but manifestation of dreams with the Fool, with an open heart, taking a leap of faith, which leads you to the jump-off point, which is the 5D of unconditional love. And Archangel Sandalphon's been coming up all week. It's a very creative, sweet, loving energy, that they are with you. Feel the sweetness of the Fool. The Fool with the open heart, taking a leap of faith, the 22, the Fool's journey. Feel the beauty of that, of having an open heart and being that joyful little kid, right? Just like you graduated from high school and you have the whole world at your fingertips and you're so excited. Sandalphon with you now. And the last card that wants to come up here is Fire, the dragon strength. And there's the pyramid here of the masculine energy, the 19 of the Sun, of full power of the fire with a little bit of air underneath to keep it going like a hot air balloon. And the 19 of the Sun, exposing all, right? The power in the truth of not having anything kept secret. There's no shadow, there's no dark. The power in the dragon, and again, the Leo energy is coming up here. Leo and Sagittarius specifically came up here to release the expanding fire that you don't need, right? That's too much. And allow the inner child to come out and play and focus on the children and their ability to be free to be a child and to be joyful and not have to have any worries at all. And then the 11 of alignment and 1111, the bottom of the deck is the rainbow bridge. That's a message from PS, Metatron. 27 is the flame. Like Metatron is coming up saying, I am your third flame. You have your feminine, your masculine, and then Metatron, which is the collective consciousness. I am the third flame. I am the bridge, the wings to clear the stuck energy. I'm sweating like crazy right now. So whenever I get masculine energy coming up very strongly, I start sweating. Transformation here of light and dark to light, of allowing the sun and the light to come in and allowing it to reveal your shadow. Full exposure, like an open door policy here. The 31 of the 5 of Wands, which is, it can be a battle and a fight or competition, but it then also can be joy and play and acting and having fun and the pursuit of happiness, right? The pursuit of the impossible dream that's possible. So let's go into the union and twin flame reads, and then we'll pull some more cards today for 1111. I just need to take a breath because there's a lot of hot energy coming in here. All right, so the union read I did was at 7:48 last night. And 7 is the Chariot. And right before that, I did my hair at 555. I don't know, I wasn't going to bring that up, but they were telling me to bring it up, the 555 of change, right? Playing with, you know, people like to play with the color of their hair, play with makeup. It's a time of big change, obviously, if there's 2 fires in air, because, you know, it's being rustled up here. It's like the eagle landing, right? To cause the storm warning, right? Which causes a clearing in a big way. So it does a lot of work at one time because it's a sudden event and it may feel more difficult at the time, but it clears the way for big changes. At 7:48, the Chariot and the 48, which is walking away within, and the Chariot, that vehicle of infiltration, but also the feminine within the masculine. And this was for 1111 here. The 4 of Swords was the underlying energy, the connection in the 5D between the twins, along with the sovereignty of the 9 of Pentacles. The middle of the deck being the read is the Emperor, or the Reason card, the logical man, and the final card was the Guidance card, and then the Shadow. So again, with your guides doing shadow work. The Sovereign at rest or break in 5D connect with the Emperor logical man with guidance and doing shadow work, or guidance on shadow work, perhaps a new perspective. The incoming divine feminine has alchemy, the higher self, and the 4 of Cups. Blending the pit of the stomach, right, the solar plexus, or the core of the higher self with Akashic records, or getting to the core, the envy wounds of longing and wishing on a star, of feeling stranded, alone out to sea, with someone who's not far from you, but maybe in the same situation as you or worse. Like Long Island is to Plum Island, a much smaller one at the end. The mountain tops, the top of the mountain, the islands where the rest of the mountain is buried beneath the water. To saturate and moisturize, like taking a bath, a very long one. The 3D here is the 10 of Wands, the King of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups. The Divine Feminine at 1118, Justice and the Moon, with Atlas leaving the wounded warrior behind, seeing the light at the top of the steps as the Divine Masculine is excited and oozing with love. The Holy Grail bridging with the King of Pentacles in Akashic Records, the Crystal Skull, and Shutter Island, right, leaving the island here, with no lower jaw to speak of. There's the throat chakra being referenced. At the 4D here is the Page of Pentacles, the Emperor, or Reason, and the 3 of Swords at the end. The Divine Feminine with the Page of Pentacles, very curious about their abilities. The Divine Masculine in separation, searching the lights, or the searchlights over the ocean in the storm, perhaps looking for the rest of the mountain. warning with a flash, and bridging with the Emperor of reason and logic, and Sophia on a tackle outward or west, perhaps toward looking at a house or being honest or being finished with something. And it's referencing here Santa Claus. And Santa Claus, or Santa Claus, was coming up as the saint or path. And Klaus means key. The saint or the path of the key. It also is the nail, like the nail in the coffin or the nail on the cross. It also means to clean, and it also means sentence, like being sentenced to prison. The key to get out of there is the path of Santa Claus. It's also coming up as Sophia. It's like Sophia being a little girl and tackling Jesus in an outward way, being honest with her feelings in an attempt to go west like the cowboys did, right? So we went west for our good fortune, for the house, and to get to the finish line, so to speak. The 5D here was the Chariot, the Page of Swords, and the Page of Wands. The Divine Feminine boldly ascending or going west with all senses on. The Divine Masculine Page of Wands inspired by a woman's plea for their flame to come back, or worshipping them. Or a child with their mask on, Sekhmet, warrior girl. Or a girl with a man's spirit of invention. And bridging with the Page of Swords, a message at the top of the mountain, or Mount Everest, in evergreen, frozen in time, with Father Time, tossing the clock in 4D, or 4-4 timing. The outgoing Divine Masculine with the Two of Swords, the King of Cups, and the Eight of Wands, floating in the mist in a balancing act, the King of Cups of unconditional love, reflecting the pools of eyes in energetic exchange in the circle of trust, and I was just getting the eyes of Laura Mars, with guidance and shadow work. It's like your eyes are like liquid pools of water, and it's the masculine reflecting that within himself, which his higher self is the feminine. The Divine Feminine here at 8:16, which is the dance, and the 16 of the Tower at 11:22. 22 is the Fool's Journey with an open heart. The Divine Feminine surrendering to her talents of the Chariot races. And the Divine Masculine overwhelmed with love or gushy and healing with the Page of Wands or their own inspiration. So again, this is like coming up as switching places. The Divine Feminine going to the Masculine of Chariot races, and the Masculine going to the Feminine of being gushy and over, exuding with love. Healing with the Page of Wands, child and or inspiration. The bridges of the King of Pentacles. I was just getting the bridges of Madison County. That's my new nephew's little girl is Madison. The bridges of Madison County, and the King of Pentacles, Father Time. And I told you my father was going into her, so that's the message, I guess. I didn't get that yesterday when I wrote it. The King of Pentacles, Father Time, and Tinkerbell, that little light, oh mine, in a high vibe message and or new children was coming up here. The Divine Feminine with Sagittarius, Pisces, and Cancer. And also the Sovereign and the Page of Pentacles. The Divine Masculine with Taurus and perhaps Capricorn as well, with the Page of Wands and the King of Cups here, which can be a father and child as well, or someone's unconditional love and inspirations. In between, and for the feminine side, is more curiosity. In between the masculine and feminine was coming up Aries with the King of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. Remember, the King of Pentacles can be someone of status, and the Page of Swords a message to bring. And Aries is very headstrong, right? Out of the gate first. And then we have the Alki, the cards with the words, literally saying Alki, higher, right? So someone who's an alcoholic, someone who's high, and then boredom. We're coming up as these shadow sides. Alki, high, and boredom, feeling sorry for oneself. Two of the cha-cha, the dance, and mastering of energetic exchange between them. With sovereignty, rest, meditation, guidance, and shadow work. So it's saying reflecting the alcoholism, the highism, the boredism, the feeling sorry for selfism, The opposite of that is to see the sovereignty, the rest, the meditation, the guidance, and the shadow work in order to alchemize it to the middle. The overall energy, the number here was the 32, and how fitting, which is the 6 of Wands, the journey. Bringing in the good news at the end of the war, the end of the wounded warrior's journey, of the human that you started out as, the wounded warrior after being an animal and a stone, starting out as a skinned human in child's pose. You've been through all of that, the wounded warrior's journey. Now you're on the fool's journey here, with good news to bring and an open heart, taking a leap of faith, that quantum leap. The horizontal pillars is the 4, the 3, and the 25 of the Emperor, the Empress, and the Knight of Wands, 25. The vertical pillars were 404, which is the Emperor with the 0, or source or space between. The 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, another 0 on the 4, which is again the Emperor. Remember, 40 also, though, is the Page of Cups, the inner child of the Emperor, that innocent one. And then 208 came up, which is the High Priestess, and the dance or the manifestation of dreams with that space between that energy. And the message came up as the journey of leading the way with good news, as opposed to the wounded warrior always seeing the negative, and then the innocent emperor, or the control, being in control of their destiny, with space for soulmates to dance with, and or lead the way, or have success together. It was a really a beautiful energy. The Page of Cups and the Emperor, and that could be a father and child, which I know that my nephew and his child, he's probably beaming because he's got 2 little boys and this is his first little girl. And I was the 3rd little girl, and my father's supposed to go into this, so it was the same pattern that my father experienced in my life. So that's very interesting. So the Page of Cups, the Emperor, and the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, that high vibration of the 42 of coming together 1-to-1 and having space to do the dance. The number 8 of manifesting your dreams, like a father and their little girl. A really beautiful energy there. So now let's go into the reading in front of you, which isn't a real long one. This was at 8:56, which is the dance, and then the 2 of Swords of being in your knowing and keeping your energy clear, or perhaps someone pretending not to know so that they can stay sane, or, right, so they don't have to deal with it. At 9:09, and I forgot to look this up yesterday. Maybe I can do that now. Let me see what the definition is of that. Give me 1 second. Let's see what comes up with this word. Okay, so perfect. So at 9:09 here, and 9, of course, is endings, completion, compassion, universal consciousness, the hermit, the collective consciousness, the one and the all. Lar, deity, came up, and Lar means a household god, particularly overseeing the family itself. So it's basically saying you are your own deity, you are your own god, your higher self, which is perfect here. And we also have the name Laurel coming up here as a definition. Hi, Laurel. And then home or fireside and hearth. So again, the deity of the home, of being warm in your home at hearth, the household or ancestral god in ancient Rome. It also means clay, which came up as well. The clay is what your home is made of, the home and the household, a protective spirit of a place, particularly a household. So it's a beautiful energy of being protected by your own higher self. Teaching, learning, education, lesson, teaching, doctrine, advice, and counsel. And the home, the hearth, was where the heart is, the box, the thigh. Those are the definitions of Lar, deity, and also Ty, thank you and gratitude. And I want to bring up, because clay came up, yeah, when I talked about Santa Claus, the translation didn't come up quite right, which is why I didn't bring it up. But clay literally came up in Santa Claus as well. To say Jesus, instead of saying to clay us, it was saying ta, like say Jesus to clay us. To clay us? Tucleus? Tacleus? something comes up around that, let me know, because it's forming something. I'm going to have to go back and feel into that. Say Jesus to Cleus. Tacleus? To Clay US? Ah, to make the US your home. Oh, how cool that is. Okay, so now we have the twin flame read in front of you on the table. At 9:23 is when I completed the Hermit and the King of Wands. Take a deep breath. I just felt some nervousness coming up at 11:30, which is the union, the justice of union, the truth and balance of union of the heart and home, where you are your own guidance, you are your own deity, your higher self, you and your higher self, the lovers and the solar deity, the sun that you are, exposing all, the lovers and the solar, which is the same as what we were just talking about, the Lar deity. You are your own deity, the lovers at home. Beneath that was the chariot, the shadow, which is the feminine within the masculine doing shadow work. And then after the read came up reflection, which is the hermit reflecting. There were 3 pentacles, 4 cups, and 2 swords. There were no wands in the main part of the read. And we have the King of Cups and the Page of Swords as the main energies or court cards in the read. The 9 of Pentacles or Sovereign came up after the read here. We had triple sevens as the main number here. So that's like hitting the jackpot. Triple sevens, as well as double 4s and 6s and 1s. And then 22 of the Fool's Journey came up as an after effect as well. So the 11 of Justice, the Fool's Journey, the 44 of Grounding, Integrating, and Mastering, especially receiving of love, and not feeling sorry for oneself, and then the 66 of the Queen of Pentacles, along with the triple sevens, which includes the sovereignty of the 77, plus the Chariot. The Chariot is the feminine within the masculine. And the feminine's playing the Chariot today, apparently. We have the 10 of High Vibration to remind you to keep it high. Always keep coming back to your heart space in the present moment. Then 710, which is 0 behind 71, which is the co-creation card for me. And that can be anywhere that you co-create, whether it's work or school or the art center, whatever it is for you, the gym. And then the code line, there was no numerology card on the code line today, but the other numerology cards were synchronicities, domestic harmony, and creativity. And the code line was all about number 5, which is about expansion and play and the pursuit of happiness, change, freedom, love, expansion. And it's coming from 4 and 1, which is the Emperor and the Magician, but also the 41 of love, self-love, spiritual love, new love becomes the 5. The code line here was coming out as, again, Saint Nick was coming up. It was coming up as the path of the Emperor, or Saint Nick, going into the child within, that Page of Cups, which is funny because my nephew's Nick. So Nick's name came up as well as his new daughter, Madison, which is beautiful. So Saint Emperor Nick, or Saint Nick, or Santa Claus, seeing the one, or acing the King of Cups, the unconditional love, right? That fatherly love, the lovers of venerable and beauty, all right? So the lovers who are venerable, very, it's that beauty of complete respect and reverence for another person and the beauty of that connection. Also the Sophia in a time out to see the one, the acing of the masculine, being able to connect like this in their feminine, right, with a child. The King of Cups and the lovers, right, that true affection of connecting with their little girl for the first time, especially with someone who's only had boys first. The mastering of emotions of the lovers. And dirt was also coming up here. To master the emotions of dirt, right, that being a child is dirty, right, they get into lots of messes. But, you know, fathers may always see their sons getting messy and being rough and tumble, but they don't see their little girls that way. They want to keep them neat and pretty. So it's about changing that perspective and allow all children to express all sides of themselves. The Saint and the Path foresee the new unconditional love as the lovers are loving outwardly. They're coming out with their true feelings about everything, not hiding it anymore. The 5 of Pentacles reversed, which is that recovery from being out in the cold, being exiled, being ill or injured, feeling left for dead. no place to go, being homeless, right? That's over because you are your home. Your heart is your home. And beneath the Five of Pentacles was the Chariot. Okay, so we're talking about the read now. So the underlying energy is the big card right here with the mini cards on top. And beneath that first card from the bottom up was the Chariot upright, Seven of Swords, and Shadow both upright. Then the Two of Swords reversed and the Two of Wands, or the Twin Flames, upright. The Chariot coming up here as the runaway train of temptation, codependency, and the shadow of knowing and floating. The Twin Flames being the goal posts, like I talked about yesterday, the actual doorway, one on one side and one on the other. Recovering from exile. The Tower in sudden events and or epiphanies in energetic exchange or sexual exchange, feeling weak and not working, trying to end the nightmare, the stress, the purge, which is that 4D energy of going from the 3D to the 5D. Running away from unworthiness and the divine feminine's heart in a losing battle with the Emperor reversed, who's either been out of control, abusing their power, or stepping down, losing their power. The King of Wands reversed, reaping rewards, perhaps of a breakup, or of dumping, purging, or being pushed to their emotional limit. Defenselessness, suffering in silence, or perhaps a sister, perhaps not sleeping, but released by the truth coming from home and union. And Leo reversed, or a kid or pet, perhaps out of control, or going through ego death. Or someone still dealing with ego issues, putting their butt where it doesn't belong, at the new moon, or in deception of the Page of Pentacles reversed, has sudden realization or epiphany, or suddenly in need of help to recover. Like, so again, letting go of their pride to ask for help. To recover, or after someone was kicked out of the house who may need some place to go. Deception of one trying to sponge off everyone else. All right, this could be someone like, the one who cried wolf. They lied so much before when they really needed the help, no one's willing to help because they know they're a liar. And again, this is also about the person giving too much. And why did you let them back in when you knew who they were? And they hadn't had time to actually change who they were. It's not like you can never forgive someone. Of course you can. But that doesn't mean you allow them into your temple if they're resonating at an energy that's very dark. Okay? The lobsters hung out to dry, or sudden nightmares of 9/11 at 9:52, the Hermit and the Queen of Swords. The Page of Wands reversed, the Knight of Wands reversed, and the Queen of Wands reversed, recovering while sharing with the King of Pentacles, letting them back in, or taking care of them, or perhaps they should have known better in letting them back in, or an issue to loan money to family or friends, right? Because as soon as there's an issue, you then can lose the relationship, okay? And this has to do with, I know someone too who's dealing with that, where they allowed their friend to move in and now they're taking advantage of them financially. So again, this is an issue, right? Someone who loves you is not going to use you or take advantage of your good nature. They want the best for you. That's love. Calling in your soulmate, and beneath that wedding, the situation involves marriage, with 10 of Swords betrayal and third-party situation, and the King of Swords upright, not trusted and no longer fantasizing, stripped of the truth in bed where there's nowhere to run and hide. Everyone is peeking in, even the animals here. They all know. At 10 p.m., a lot of source energy backing up the 10 of a high vibration, a turn for the better, to see what he's up to, being serviced, or can't be with them, that it's too late, they were too slow, or they're not home for dinner on time. Well, if they're not home for dinner on time, they don't get any dessert, or any dinner for that matter. Like someone's no longer putting up with their crap. Relationship change, and that can reference kids, a masculine or a feminine, however it plays out for you. The relationship change here of the 56, of being in your knowing and keeping it to yourself to try to keep your energy clear. And then self-love of 61, of taking that risk to love yourself first. Right? Saying something when someone's doing you wrong. The issues at work with the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands all upright here, or the three who are up to something at work. The wounded warrior surrenders to the Queen of Swords with the light, letting them back in from the cold, or the Queen of Swords and the Wounded Warrior reversed are recovering together behind closed curtains or doors. Lancelot and Guinevere, or when did they let them back in or readmitted? Recovery and the Hermit coming out of exile, the Mary Magdalene cave, suddenly or with an epiphany with the King of Pentacles, together but distant and apart. So together who are not getting along, or apart yet so close, in relationship change of knowing and pretending not to know in order to stay sane. The underlying energies of the Sovereign and the King of Swords, free to leap with the truth to make them happy and get their wish with Lover, the King of Pentacles reversed, and the Injustice with the Page of Wands reversed, or frustrations. Going forward after this read is the Three of Cups, Justice, the Seven of Swords, all upright, with the Four of Pentacles, the Divine Masculine's heart in the Bat Cave, the Crystal Bat Cave, and the Five of Cups reversed, which is getting over themselves, or getting over any loss, regret, guilt and shame, and the past, getting over all that stuff. Coming together, or a small celebration of justice, divorce, or Libra, perhaps shamed for hoarding or keeping to themselves, someone disappointed or disappointed in themselves. The Knight of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, the loyal humble servant, offers help in a breakup or no love lost between the Knight of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, which can be a father and child, or can be siblings, or just two earth signs, and dumping emotional attachments, or all must go, or no more gambling, or no longer confused about the one, and letting go of all others. The recent past here is the Seven of Pentacles, the Divine Feminine's heart in the E-Tower, and new information and clarity of not sharing, or delays in communication or travel, or no energetic exchange, or a heated exchange with the Page of Pentacles reversed, who is in need of help perhaps, or missed an opportunity, or a delay in information getting to them. The Empress and Sovereign with the King of Wands reversed being given an ultimatum if he actually wants satisfaction. The King of Cups reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed, perhaps divorcing or breaking a contract, with a choice of path of twin to start over in love here. So the King of Cups reversed would be someone with conditions of love, and then the Knight of Wands reversed comes up as the player type of energy, or someone falling short of their promises or expectations of themselves, or literally paralyzed by their own passions. The contract with choice, they're breaking this contract or choice of path with twin to start over in love. The foundation here is the Ten of Cups upright, the family presenting the truth to the Page of Cups reversed, who may feel rejected and vulnerable, or perhaps that's a spoiled child about a reunion with the Page of Swords reversed, in need of attention, or doing it under the radar. These two children or inner children coming together, but doing it under the radar. Or maybe the family, this Ten of Cups family, is bringing the two together, not telling either one of them, like trying to get them to make up, the Page of Cups and the Page of Swords. The central energy here is the Ace of Pentacles reversed, pushing the stone back in. It's like trying to put a baby back in and playing hardball. It's also like keeping the child in the incubator longer because they're not quite ready to leave the hospital. Playing hardball or saving for a new life, so therefore withholding time, money, and effort. Healing to ascend or travel with the Knight of Pentacles, offering help to the King of Cups reversed for their children or a hard time in the past. The Knight of Pentacles may be in a 12-step program, apologizing to those they hurt, or perhaps someone making restitution. The challenge being the King of Cups reversed, working conditions with Atlas and the weight and the world, and slave labor, or too much overtime, or the King of Cups reversed is working too much, in need of more help, and the Knight of Pentacles is now coming and offering, or perhaps it's a new employee putting in their resume. There's a new passionate offer from a secret passion rising above pain and betrayal at 1029, which is my son's birthday actually. 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, 29 is the Three of Wands, being present in the moment, perhaps waiting for your ships to come in, but better would be to just be present. Moving to peace, away from regret. And the movie I watched, oh, you have to watch this. It was called Zero to Hero. It's a beautiful movie. You must watch it. It just warmed my heart, made me cry. Yeah. Moving to peace away from regret, with patient angel, Queen of Swords reversed, grieving their loss. In a breakup and recovery, but without even an olive branch offered or extended, the devil castrated, marking their territory, as the Knight of Cups upright with jealous rage, with patient angel, hermit reversed, losing their mind, or with mental disability, and coming out, not able to express their feelings, to the Queen of Swords reversed, and the Queen of Pentacles upright, healing after a competition, or in a losing battle, in disconnect or at a distance. Now crowning is the Seven of Cups reversed, dumping emotional attachments, or coming back downstairs, the wounded warrior surrendering to announcements and a call to action. A sudden burst of energy, impatient post-war or post-war time, and recovery of the Knight of Cups offering love to a passion and waiting for their ship to come in, present to the now moment, and dealing with divorce or breaking away from a contract, religion, establishment, or societal norms, no longer silenced by the King of Pentacles, divorce, and a happy ending, and holding on to the Ten of Pentacles and justice. Right? That dream family and truth and balance. Defenseless to the energies of an all-business relationship that's not working out, and free to start over in love with a missed opportunity at work. The harsh truth after death of the Empress, and that can be any kind of ending, of the Empress or Gaia or abundance, and at work a falling out with the Queen of Cups upright and the Queen of Pentacles upright. And soon here is the Six of Swords, peaceful play after ending the pain and dumping emotional attachments and breaking patterns and breaking up and push to the emotional limit of the King of Swords upright, tempted to throw it all away and stop playing the game, that it's not fun anymore. The Queen of Wands reversed with new information and knocked for a loop. The twin flames as the Four of Cups reversed, starting over, off the island, at war with self, exposing all, protecting energy, kids, and ego. Deception about dreams, of what their dreams are, or their dream girl, or Cancer reversed in Aquarius upright and Divine Feminine in 5D, walking away because they withheld time, money, and effort and turned their back on them, or losing their mind. Leo upright, Cancer reversed, Aquarius upright, and Pisces reversed, and Virgo reversed here. This could be the one, very soon, and true love. This is a romance of a lifetime, which especially references yourself and your relationship with yourself. And the movie last night was so beautiful because it was about someone with disabilities who learned to do everything they were told he'd never be able to do. But then finding the thing that they loved to do as a child, who they were so inspired, became a chore as opposed to something beautiful. And that's kind of, the signal that that's not what you should be doing anymore. And that the connection of love within yourself and with others around you is always more important than, pleasing society, right? And what they expect of you. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the Page of Swords reversed in negative self-talk, or just rumors, perhaps immature communication, and burden trying to see another perspective, perhaps having difficulty not being able to express your perspective. Maybe if you have disabilities, you can't express what you feel, or feeling hung out to dry. And the block here being the Lovers reversed, without tools to manifest and lashing out after death, or a constant fight to the death, right? The warrior expects, marriage till death do us part. All of that has to do with the warrior's journey, not the fool's journey. Without the tools to manifest, lashing out after death, or a constant fight to the death, and satisfied in disconnect or at a distance. The angel with attitude, or Sagittarius who drinks or makes potions, no longer energetically stealing, with the Empress energized and exposing all, or having their 15 minutes. In disconnect or at a distance, destined to release, the Hermit reversed exposed Queen of Cups Scorpio and Queen of Pentacles Taurus with issues at work, not getting along, and Virgo Libra healing in a losing battle of disconnect and distance in a breakup, perhaps. exposing all, the Hermit reverse, going crazy or coming out, with a negative past at 1221, falling out or difficult kids, and sovereign or sovereignty now rising above loss of love, or awake and perhaps crying or purging at home. But at least they're home within their heart and stable. And again, 0 to hero. The Hermit leaving the Mary Magdalene cave. After chariots of fire and passing downloads and shadow work with new clarity about the twins, coming out to recover with the 10 of Cups, starting over in love, coming off the island of negative self-talk or without a word, the Divine Feminine's heart magnetized and challenged by the King of Cups reversed, finding peace without affection or in a breakup. Descending or coming back down the stairs, or perhaps repeating steps to energize and expose all, going crazy, coming out about disability, and perhaps a bad childhood or a falling out in the past, or difficulty with kids and or the past returning. With sovereign or sovereignty, awake or rising above, in breakup, loss of love, and pushed to their emotional limit at 1239, which is the Hanging Man, and the Knight of Cups, being love, perhaps together. So let's go ahead and pull a few cards, see what comes up today. And I just got a message left while I was saying that. Let's pick from the Lenormand Reverie, see what comes up. Okay, it's the Well. And it's also the 41, right? All for one, all for one, and one for all. Here's the well of diving deep to clear your emotions from deep down under. And so Australia could be coming up as well. And this involves the whole world, the whole scope of thing. Be careful what you wish for, because your wishes may all be coming true. As spiritual union of peace and spiritual maturity comes up here. And the need to be able to discern, to cut the wheat from the chaff here. In high vibe destiny of the child, the inner child in transition. Taking a risk to love self first. The 39 is the Knight of Cups with the loving man and the twin path. And the Fox of a higher love leaving the hen house to the two swans. In order to navigate through all the layers and do the work, to come to the center, come together, 43, on the journey of the subconscious. In order to come together with the swans, the ultimate deliverance of the dream of nesting the golden egg and looking up. 17, all of your dreams coming true. And perhaps cracking some codes together as well, with inspiration and epiphanies and the little luck of the Irish or the High Priestess and wise guidance on the fool's journey of magic. And a little puppy love wanting you to lead the way. The bottom of the deck is the 33 of the Christ consciousness. And the key of the Christ consciousness, the unity consciousness, is the key to your freedom. Going within and connecting to the collective as opposed to looking outward for your guidance. Going within. The 8 of Pentacles is that alignment card of working creatively as opposed to not working harder, but working more creatively from your heart instead of your mind. Right, following your true north, the 42 of the 2 of Cups, that deep connection of following your true north and letting go of overindulgences, the key to your freedom, the Christ unity consciousness. That's a beautiful message there. Wow, I don't usually get, there can be really negative energy in that deck, so that was a really amazing message there. 1154. Okay. It was just 109:46, which is the beginning and the end, and the 46 of the children loving each other. Right? In the beginning and in the end, it's all about the inner child connection. And 11:54 is the 11:11 message of the Page of Swords. And from the Journey of Love, all right, so a couple cards came out there. We have the bottom of the deck, Becoming 34, which we talked about, the Empress and the Emperor, and the 34 of the energetic exchange of Santa Claus and Gaia, basically, in becoming, and the space that's needed between this 2D energy, which is beautiful, but it's 2D, it's not 3 or 4 or 5D and above. The energetic exchange with the shadow to alchemize to the middle in becoming. Okay, and this is also very 2D. The guardian of the soul family, the 26th of the inspiration of coming together in the vortex, but painting a pretty picture. All right, this is all about painting a pretty picture of being the guardian of the soul family and becoming that beautiful work of art. And so then we have the soft of the pearl threaded that connects us all, the softness of the feminine, of the ovary and the womb, the soft of the 47, which is the synchronicities, and the heaven in your eyes. And there's that pearl in a question mark. What is that pearl to you? The seed of the heart, the 25, what inspires you to loving all that is on the Fool's Journey, the 22, holding space for all that is, the pearl, the pearl, the pearl that is in your heart. What is it you choose to place there? And then we have the woman of light, of getting her wish, of all the light showering down upon her as she is gifted over and over and over again, getting her wish. And look how much fun she's having in the shower. And this could be literally a baby shower, a wedding shower, but this could be a light shower as well. But now enjoying the bliss that she is. This is the bliss of her, getting her wish of self-love. All because of the pearl, the softness, the bacteria that got into the clam or the oyster to create the beautiful that she is, the divine feminine and all that she is, inspired by heaven in her eyes to the Fool's Journey and loving all that is in the woman of light. Okay. Which is getting your wish, which is the ultimate of self-love, right? When you love yourself and you can be alone and you're perfectly happy, how can everything else not just be icing on the cake? Well, it is. So let's see what that says for you. The 47. I'm sweating like crazy right now. Whew. Soft. A sanctuary bathed in soft light. Your heart is receptive, inviting, and gentle. It brings strength to the weary, comfort to the lonely, and healing to the wounded. It's a magnet for all that is needed, for you, your beloveds, and your world. Don't imagine you must always be the fighter, going against the part of your nature that longs for harmony and peace. This is your time to be soft, to surrender, to let the subtle waves of the heart invite love in, and to receive. In doing so, you will give so much. This oracle brings you a message of peace. Surrender now, be soft, even just for this moment of quiet reflection. You have perhaps been working too hard at growing and living. Take some moments to replenish and allow the divine to help you, dear one. Be soft so you are receptive to the divine. It is when we let go that we truly perceive the obstacles that lie between us and oneness with the divine lover. Let go and perceive that the divine lover is already awakening in your heart. You are the softness he desires. You help light his way. You nurture all that he holds dear, though tempest clouds dismay. And in the quiet of the storm, his gentleness comes through, and in the shelter of his arms, his heart is there for you. So really taking this day of softness and beauty as we're about to approach noon. It's 11:59 on the clock. And just breathe. Make sure to drink enough water, get enough rest, your joy in your nature. Rise and be love, as it was just 14:41 on the clock. and be in your truth. Rise and be love, guys.